You know, we talk a lot about women and their self-worth, but we don't talk a lot about men and their own value, their self-worth. You know, what about you? Your penis is precious. You know, your body is precious too. Your energy and your time is precious too, you know? I think that there's a way that you can still enjoy the radiance of women, the beauty and the energy and all the things of you can even still have touch, you know? I think that it'll be a beautiful way to challenge yourself and to elevate yourself energetically. It'll elevate your power for sure. It'll elevate your magnetism for you to say, let me see how I can just like surrender to the energy of women without giving them my body, but just saying, I can enjoy feminine energy. This does not mean that they get my penis because it might not be worth my time and energy. And if anything, it may be absorbing some of your magnetism, some of your power. I think that if people knew how powerful and how potent sex is and the power of what they could do when they use their imagination coupled with sexual energy, if they really knew the potency of what it could create, they wouldn't be so free with it.
All right, welcome to Rich and Unemployed Uncut. I'm your host, Jonathan Dupaton, aka Finesse. And before we get started, make sure you guys check out the Patreon. First, make sure you guys like this video because that's how YouTube's algorithm works. Make sure you guys check out the website for the merch. Make sure you guys get this bucket hat, www.richunemployed.net. And I have a very beautiful spiritual business. So many words to describe this woman. Now, we were supposed to do this the first time, and it didn't happen, and we're finally back at it. Can you properly introduce yourself?
My name is Ahki Taylor, and I am a health and wellness advisor. People would say an influencer. I don't like that term. A TEDx speaker. I'm an author. I'm a mother, and a holistic health coach.
You bought me something. Hold up. Gotta show it. Hold up. So you bought me some gifts.
I
I
did.
love gifts. So the first gift you brought me was
Sea moss.
purple sea moss.
Gotta have the purple sea moss.
How often
Best
do you
of the
use sea
best.
moss?
Every day.
Every day
Every day.
in a smoothie? No way.
I do it in different ways. I always kind of keep sea moss gel on deck in my fridge, and I'll use it in different things. So sometimes my son loves like coconut yogurt, so I'll mix it in with our yogurt. I'll mix it in with smoothies, and I'll make tea with it a lot. I'll put it in muffins. I just anything I can mix it in, I put
Muffins,
it
do you like grind it up and?
in. So this I'll turn into a gel,
Uh-huh.
and that gel I'll put it into my batter. So pancakes, waffles, everything. Get
Oh,
it in every kind of way.
dang, okay.
Yeah.
You bought me. This is a cookbook.
Yeah, it is. It's I would say it's about 50-50 information, education, and recipes as well. So this was my very, very first book.
You look young.
Yeah, I'm I did a whole remake on that, so that's gonna drop this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I released that book in 2015. I released that book from Honduras actually, and yeah, it was my first.
I love this. Nut milks.
Yeah, proud of that.
Mm.
Golden information.
Coconut. You know, I don't even drink water.
Okay,
I'm only on coconut water
that's
and
wonderful.
juices from fruit.
Okay, have you noticed any differences?
um, I really can't say. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't. I know I feel better.
yeah.
I feel way better when I drink water. Like, okay, I played basketball today. I didn't drink water. I came home, drank coconut water, and I drank pineapple juice, and I drank orange juice.
Nice.
And I don't know. Like water, it hydrates me, but when I drink that water, it gives me another boost of energy.
It's another level of hydration for sure.
Hmm.
That's good. You should notice it just even in like your respiratory,
Hmm.
system. You should notice that things are a lot more clear. Shouldn't have as much mucus in the mornings, and certainly like in your urine, you should notice. And eventually, like your smell, even well, your lady may notice like your smell's different, your breath.
Hmm. And this last thing was seasoning.
Yes.
Did you make this yourself?
I do make those. I created that blend myself,
Hmm.
and I basically just put all the things in it that we need. So it's minerals and spices. There's
Good.
sea veggies in there. There's black sesame seed in there. It's really good.
Well, while we're on topic, let's talk about health. How long have you been in this realm?
Health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been about 23 years. I made my transition really young. So I crossed over out of what you would call the junk food lifestyle, the standard American diet, at about 17 years old.
That's young.
Yes.
Why?
I had a really phenomenal experience. Around 16 years old, I met a young man who was out of Sacramento, California. And the brother was what is known as a Hebrew Israelite. And they were very strict about diet,
Mm-hmm.
strict about many things, but he told me how it was ordained for us to eat from seed bearing trees, that we were supposed to eat natural foods, we should stay away from pork, and that this is a way that God was to ensure our health and longevity. And
Mm-hmm.
I was really fascinated by that idea, and it took me on years of study, but I started to slowly change my diet from that point on. I took away the pork, the
Mm-hmm.
beef,
Mm-hmm.
and fast food almost immediately. So
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of how my transition. And then veganism came years later.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the same process I went through. It wasn't through like a Israelite. I think I was just YouTube and stuff and seeing like a documentary about how we should eat, and then I immediately left fast food alone, pork, beef,
Mm,
and chicken,
okay.
and later on became like pescatarian.
Okay.
And then I tried to be vegetarian, and I didn't know how to eat, and then I just started
Yeah.
losing bad weight, and I was like, I don't like
Yeah,
this.
that happens.
Yeah, and
That
then
happens.
now I think I'm fully vegetarian. I don't eat any type of animal.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'll eat some cheese. I ain't gonna hold you.
Okay. A
Yeah,
little bit of cheese here and
yeah.
there.
A little.
Have you found any alternatives that you like?
For cheese?
Mm-hmm.
No,
No, nothing.
I ain't even looked for any.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah,
If you feel like, you're good, I would say stay away from them altogether, really. That's
I
wonderful.
want to, but like some nights it's really no options when it's because I be outside.
Right.
So the only thing late nights 2 in the morning like sides and like French fries. So
Right.
I would rather eat that than eating meat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get it. And that could be a trap too. So, you got to be careful with that.
yeah.
Especially if you outside. Outside food means fries. I mean,
Hmm.
that's about it, right? But there's a lot of junk food traps out there for vegans, especially now. When I was coming up, we didn't have. I mean, we literally had a block of tofu and some hot dogs in a can or something. Like that was it. Like
Hmm.
we didn't have all these alternatives. Whereas now you could really die of, diseases just like anybody else and be a vegan, but you're just eating junk.
What is junk?
It's processed food. It's not whole foods. It's not natural. You'll go to the market and somebody's like, oh, yeah, I'm vegan, this and that. But their basket is filled with, boxed items and processed items. It's
Hmm.
like you're not really cooking. You're not really eating fruits and vegetables for real. Like, you're eating junk. So you're still a slave to the addiction of convenience food.
So are you fully vegan?
I'm fully vegan. Yeah, I don't do any dairy whatsoever.
So even when you're out the country, you don't eat any fish or nothing?
Every once in a while I will, and I tell people this all the time, if they pay attention, especially on my birthdays. I always tell people if you come up to Belize or Caribbean, because I'm going to be in the Caribbean on my birthday, and you see me, smashing some sea bass, don't say
Hmm.
shit to me. I'm going to have a glass of tequila,
Uh-huh.
drink my margarita and have some sea
Yeah,
bass. But that's very rare for me.
right. I mean, we're not perfect,
No,
right?
no.
But as
I'm
long as
not in no perfect competition.
no,
That's not what this is.
I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to live long.
Yes.
So I don't even want to claim myself as a vegan.
Yes.
I just eat what I eat
Yeah.
and eat as healthy as possible.
I think that's important. And I
Hmm.
think that's kind of where people are going. I feel like I've certainly seen myself go to some extremes. And at times I think an extreme is good.
Hmm.
That's how you find your center. There are times where I'll just water fast. There are times where I was just raw food, no living foods, but I also realized all the junk that I ate for 20 some odd years. I ate
Hmm.
so much mess that I
Hmm.
really needed to detox, from parasites, from all the chemicals, I mean, most children are having 12, 15 chemicals before they're even 15 years old. They've
Hmm.
had dozens of chemicals in their bodies. They've taken meds, it's just so much chemicals out there. So you've got to sometimes go to the extreme in order to cleanse your body.
What type of soap do you use?
Just for washing my body,
Yeah.
I have my favorites. I'm one of those girls that's I got all the soaps, like all the natural soaps. I got them. I
You
collect them.
ain't Dove.
I don't have a okay. So I got my favorites. So I got a soap for every part of my body. Let's just say that. Shout out to Goddess Body. Shout out to Honey Pots. I love Goddess Body products for like vaginal wash, feminine care. I love Honey Pot for feminine care. And then for my body head to toe, I love Dr. Bronner's, like everybody else. But I also love companies like Lush. I love oh man, there's so many. And I'm old school. Like with my skincare, I'm very serious about skincare. So I love black soap. Black soap to me just keeps your pores tight. It's just wonderful. So yeah, all the natural soaps I collect them. I don't really have a favorite. I'm always trying things. Companies always send me stuff. So
Is there something wrong with Dove? That's what I'm trying to get at.
well, I'm not into big corporate products.
Me neither.
So most likely I just stay away. And I know that is what the average gynecologist will suggest to a woman is to use unscented Dove soap. I'm good. I'd rather get my soap from my sisters who make it, and sell it. I'd much rather support them.
What about deodorant?
First of all, you have to have deodorant. I don't give a damn who you are. Now, there's a difference between deodorant and antiperspirants. And so deodorant is a must. One of my favorites is by Play Pits, and it's called Queen. And they have the King version too, and it smells so amazing.
Where you get this from?
Play Pits.
Online?
You can get it online.
Oh, okay.
And you can find it in some stores too. I think Target carries them now.
I don't wear deodorant no more.
Shout out to Play Pit. You stopped completely.
Yeah.
Completely?
Yeah.
Since when?
It's been a few months.
How's that working out for you?
It's been, up and down. So when
You know they got you in 4K. You know they're gonna get you for this.
I know.
They're gonna say you don't wear deodorant
I
like they
know.
did. B Simone said she don't take showers.
I was no. I have a form of deodorant, but I just don't use the deodorant from the store.
So you use some kind of
I
deodorant?
use baking soda.
Just straight up baking soda.
Baking soda. And
Do you stink though?
no, it don't. I think that I gotta use a little more.
Have you confirmed that you don't stink?
I had this girl tell me I was musty the other day, man.
Are you musty?
This girl said I was musty and I had to leave her house. She's like, "Can you go take a shower?"
That's what I'm saying. Come on now.
But this was like after a long day. I was outside. It was just
Okay.
a long day, but
Yes.
the deodorant, like Dove and stuff like that, it irritates me.
Okay.
Especially like Red Old Spice.
Yeah,
Like
nah.
that manly deodorant.
Nah, get you that Play Pits King version.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna love that.
Mhm.
That's what you need.
Heard of
Look him
Dr.
up.
Squash?
Say it again.
Dr. Squash.
No.
There's some other manly stuff like it doesn't have toxins and
Okay.
a bunch of other stuff in it, but
There's so many options now.
that don't work for me either.
Okay. And I'll tell you, I've tried many natural deodorants. Some work, some don't. Some stop working.
Mhm.
Some created like a little like rash. It's really particular under the armpits. So you just gotta try a few of them and see what works for you.
Baking soda.
But if baking soda's working, go ahead, brother. If you're not musty, that's all that
I
matters.
can't be musty. I
Can't
can't
be
be this
musty.
person and then be walking outside, walking past people musty.
Don't be musty.
But I don't want to like jeopardize my health.
Nah, especially under the armpits. Your lymphatic system is really important, and you want to make sure that you are perspiring, but
Yeah.
you're not stank. And the diet is everything with that. So you're doing your thing if you're not musty.
What about chlorophyll?
Very important.
You drink that
For 20 years.
every day?
Yeah. In fact, so the way I do chlorophyll is I have 5 gallons of water in my house that I drink on through the week. So I have my 5-gallon water. As soon as I get my water in, I'll treat my water. And I talk about this in the electric book, where most water is junk water. So you should treat it. And so I get it home, I'll add trace mineral drops to it. And then I'll add chlorophyll drops to it. So all the water that I'm drinking and filling up my water bottles through the week comes from this chlorophyll water. So I'm always drinking chlorophyll
How much
water.
chlorophyll you putting in there for 5 gallons?
Oh, just like a capful. Not much.
And that's gonna just be enough for the body? Because some people
You
take
don't need
the
much.
chlorophyll and take shots of it.
it's not necessary to take a full shot of chlorophyll. Maybe a chlorophyll drops inside of lemon juice or lemon water, but you don't need a whole bottle of chlorophyll. Nah,
How old are you? I gotta
it's
ask.
not your damn business.
Okay. Like, I want to,
None of your
I'm
business.
asking because you,
Grown.
you look fairly young, and I know like you're, like not old,
Thank
but
you.
like you're older than me for sure.
Thank you.
And I just want to know like your remedy, like how you do it. I'm pretty sure
Um,
some of it's genetics.
well, I don't know. I think about my parents when they were my age, and I think they also aged pretty well, fairly well. But I am getting to that place where, as I get older, I am starting to see the way I preserve myself aesthetically is a bit of a phenomena.
Phenomenal.
Every year, I'm like, when am I gonna look, older? And it honestly, it kind of just kicked in the last few years where I was like, I'm starting to see
Mm-hmm.
that I don't look like a kid, almost like a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be in circles of women who were like 40 and up, and they would kind of give me the vibes, like kind of talk down to me a little bit,
Little girl, you.
kind of sun
Mm-hmm.
me a little bit, and I would be like, why are they doing that, and then they would say, oh, well, you're, and I'd say, oh, no, I'm this age, and they would just be in shock, because we would often be close in age and look nothing alike, and it's a weird place to be. I'll say that, but I would say my secret has been that I started really young in my health and wellness journey. Not just diet, but mentally, energetically, a lot of things that I changed in my environment. Um, I think all of these things really made a difference in my aesthetic.
So you think changing spiritually slows, not slows
I
your age
do.
down, but
I
yeah.
do. Well, I think it's your consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Your conscious awareness of your body. I think you can think yourself into a certain kind of aesthetic.
You know what? I truly believe that, right? And I said that today. Today I was looking at myself in the mirror for like just 2 minutes, and I was like, do I notice myself from like when I was younger to now, like the difference? And I told myself, I said, I think I made myself look good. Like I used to always like tell myself,
Wow.
like, you're an attractive person.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always was attractive
Like you're that
kid.
guy.
Yeah. But
You're him.
the fact that I tell myself that and the way that people, the way women,
Mm-hmm.
the way people, the way women look at me or treat me
Mm-hmm.
and give me compliments, I'd be like, am I really that attractive?
Right. Or is it in my mind?
Or is it the universe? I don't know what it is, but I tell myself, like I've had this affirmation that I tell myself like, you're beautiful, you're attractive, women love you,
Mm.
and telling myself that it happens. It's my universe.
That's amazing.
All right.
And I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. I think that, especially with men, I think men have the power to make women attracted to them regardless of their aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could talk about a lot of people that we saw make the transition.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, oh, it's money, whatever. Because,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, of course, money can help you to do certain things to
Yeah.
make you more attractive. But what money also does is it gives you the options to have access,
Yeah.
to certain lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're making different lifestyle choices. You're
Mm-hmm.
around different people who may be making healthier lifestyle
Yeah.
choices. And so all that makes a difference. And certainly for me, I would say, we just talked about skincare, what you use on your face and your body, what you do and don't do. It's like if you're, smoking Black and Milds and drinking Hennessy for 20 years, I probably wouldn't look like
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been drinking chlorophyll for 20 years. I've been drinking
Mm-hmm.
coconuts for 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
So that's a major difference.
Mm-hmm. I think people don't pay attention to that because you're putting what you're putting in your body versus someone that's smoking hookah and drinking every day,
Hmm.
and it's putting a lot of damage. You really every time you like take a shot and smoke hookah, it's like you're punching yourself, like you're taking
Oh
a
yeah.
punch to the ribs. Versus you taking like health. What would that be called? Uh, um, the
It's like,
serum. The
yeah, it's like the elixir of life,
hmm
serum of life. You know, when you take in what you're supposed to.
People don't pay attention to that till it's too late. Until like you're 40.
Yeah.
Oh, let me try to preserve
Yeah.
this.
Or they're sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's true. It's
yeah.
very true. I just met a brother downstairs. Come in here. I was paying my meter, and the brother, it was like three black men out there, and they were speaking Spanish to each other. And I thought, oh, interesting, right? 'Cause they just look like some brothers from around here. And the brother said, let me pay for your parking. And I was like, oh, you don't have to do that, you know. And but I said, where are you from? And he said, I'm from Panama. I was like, wow. And he said, what do you do? You a model? I said, no, I'm not a model. I'm a writer. And he said, oh, okay, what do you write about? I said, health and wellness. And he said, I just beat prostate cancer. He said, you should write my book about it. I said, well, maybe I should, you know. But that's, you know, brothers don't think about that. You know, the way that you're using your body, your sexuality, you know, all that matters. And then what you're putting back into your body, you know, people don't think about it until they have prostate cancer.
That stuff is scary.
Oh, it's beyond scary, and and men are experiencing this earlier. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. I mean, even in my career, you know, the messages that I get from very young men who are struggling with impotence, who are having a really hard time in the bedroom, you know, with ED, you know, erectile dysfunction. It's it's scary.
Have you ever had someone had ED?
Oh yeah.
How did you react to it?
Uh, it's it's painful.
Painful.
It's painful. It's painful. Damn right, painful. Yes. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's sad. I mean, my first reaction was, you know, maybe this is just, you know, a one
Nerves.
time. Yeah, maybe it's nerves, maybe it's one time thing. And then, of course, you know, they always say, well, maybe it's you, girl. You know, maybe it's you. It's like, well, maybe it's me. Right. But then it's like, after a while, okay, no, 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 no. This is a problem. This is you. Now we got to have a talk, you know.
What kind of talk do you have?
Well, the kind of talk I'm gonna have is don't call me no more. No,
No.
lose my number. No, you know, the talk looks like, how do we address this? You know, is it mental? You know, do you what's going on in your mind when this is happening? So I believe that all disease starts spiritually first and foremost. I feel like that's something that it's vibrational first. So oftentimes with men, it can be an intimidation thing. It can be, you know, fear, or you know, it could be, you know, fear of vulnerability. I feel like, you know, that's a time where you're your most vulnerable, you know, in the intimate space. And you know, your feelings are all wound up and you're all in your head about it. You know, men are often so in their head about trying to impress and please a woman that they're not just able to just surrender to the experience. And they want to be, you know, they want to be in control. You know, you want to be seen as this phenomenal lover. And I think that sometimes it's just too much for men. But then there's physical components. So naturally, and I mean, I personally, I would not become intimate with anybody who was not health conscious either way, you know. But there are things, you know, especially if a brother's been abusing his body for a very long time and he's just making a transition to be healthier, you know, these things can still affect him. So there's layers of that conversation. It could be you need to see a therapist. It could be let's get you this CMOS, and you know, let's make sure y'all your minerals is, you know, and that your circulation is doing what it needs to do, that your fitness is together, and we get your lymphatic system flowing, because oftentimes it could be a circulation issue, like in the case of you know, this brother downstairs. I could just as soon as I saw him, I could look at his eyes, I could look at his body frame, his body type, and I could tell he looked, if not diabetic, maybe pre-diabetic. You know, and all those things work together, you know. So there's layers of things that can happen. I suggest that if you get an opportunity, have you ever been to the Bodies exhibit?
No.
You heard of that? Yeah, yeah. I
I've
went
always
here in
heard of that.
Atlanta. It was phenomenal. And I think everybody should have that opportunity to see, because you get to actually look inside of the body of a real human being, and they actually show you a diseased penis, if you will. They show the full process of what it looks like for a man to have prostate cancer. They show even gallstones, kidney stones. So I think this is stuff that people need to see so they understand what it looks like when you eat a certain way, and over time, all the grease, all the fat, all the, the lack of hydration, it adds up and calcifies in your penis.
Mm-hmm.
And that it has to come out, and it's usually through um through your urine
Mm-hmm.
and ejaculation, and it's very painful.
I've had times where I don't have ED, but I've had times where it just didn't work, and I would sit back and think like, okay, why did this happen? But it'd be times where like um, I would overthink, or
Okay.
I'll be nervous about trying to outperform. Like I talked to
Mm-hmm.
all this shit on the phone, and I finally got
Mm-hmm.
through on this one. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so, but
Oh.
and then I go back home and have this self talk like, yo, what happened? And then I have to like redeem myself.
Oh man, that's awful.
But it happens, like, but it happens more than often now because I don't know. I got a lot of homies that go to the sex stores and get like the pills and like this honey
Mm. Mm.
and like
Honey.
mhm.
Honey. Oh, that's a new one.
It's a honey that it's like a it's supposed to be like a natural Viagra,
Oh,
but it's actually the same components and
interesting.
ingredients as Viagra.
Have you tried it?
Hmm.
It works.
Like magic, like magic,
Shut
like magic.
up. That honey. Is it natural?
Mm-mm.
I didn't think
I
so.
think there's other natural forms of it, but
Okay.
what these people taking, nah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Interesting. So that's the brothers got secrets.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
about the honey, ladies. Y'all didn't know
Now,
about.
honey, man, listen.
I didn't know about
You
the.
could you be able to tell the difference. You be like, what got into you?
I didn't know
Like, be
about
like
the.
nothing, baby.
I didn't know about the honey.
Uh,
Interesting. You giving up the secrets on this one. Okay.
mhm.
Wow. So let me ask you something, because you talked about performance and, sometimes nervousness and things you overthink. Um, this is something that, me and my sister friends talk about.
Mhm.
I feel like our culture has been raised on pornography. And
Yeah.
so technically we really actually don't know how to
Mhm.
have sex. We don't know how to engage in intimacy. We don't know how to make love. We don't
Mhm.
really know what that is. And we compare the
Mhm.
way that we approach each other in that space to what we've seen. And the only thing most of us have seen is porn.
Mhm.
How do you feel like that affects your generation, in that space?
I think the overly um, consumption of porn kind of messes you up mentally because when you look at porn, it's just like it's rough sex. It's like, you know, and you feel like you got to perform like that. And I don't
Mm.
really watch porn. I used to watch porn when I was a little kid, and I was never like just a porn watcher,
Yeah.
but like porn is a thing now for women and men. Like they
Mm.
just watch porn.
Yeah, it's
You know,
normal.
but I'm not into porn. It's
Mm.
not for me. But I think that plays a major part in it too because mentally you think you have to be that way, and some people you that's just not you.
Yeah.
And and when you get in front of these women and you're naked and like let's just say you're not that size, right? That can be intimidating too. Like
Mm-hmm.
especially to some women are very intimidating, right? And I don't know what it is about the woman that makes them intimidating.
Mm.
Maybe the eyes, the way you look, the way you carry yourself, or maybe your history of men too. Like
Mm.
if you know that this woman been with such and such, like a rapper or athlete or maybe
Mm.
an older woman, it kind of like
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ready for this woman. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that I've been in a situation like where women that I thought that just was overly experienced, and I thought that I wasn't experienced enough, and I get nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
but I'm not a. I'm more of a love maker. I'm
Okay.
more of a sensual person when it comes to sex.
So you can make love even if you're not in love, per se?
It wouldn't be like a full blown out love making session,
Okay.
but definitely going to like foreplay, but not all women. I can't even kiss all women. I'm sorry. I
Mm-hmm.
can't kiss all women. I can't perform like that with all women
Mm.
because if I don't know you like that, I know you're gonna say like, well, how are you having sex with these women if you don't know them? But I'm trying to get my rocks off. I'm not trying to know you.
Yeah.
But
It's not my business. I mean, it's interesting.
mhm.
But because as I'm hearing you say, well, I don't kiss all women, I'm thinking, but are you entering into her body, but you're not kissing her? That's
I
very interesting.
know, but
That's
kissing is
different.
so intimate.
Yeah. Well, so is.
Sex doesn't have
intercourse.
to be, especially if you just turn around, you hit him from the back, and you ain't even gotta
Oh
look him in the
wow.
eyes.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I can't even. It's above me.
Listen,
It's above me.
listen. Some women they go straight for the position.
See, that's really interesting. It's above me. I would just sisters, y'all got to stop doing this to yourself. I feel like you're really really cheating yourself.
Mm.
Men too. Men too, because we talk a lot about women and their self worth, but we don't talk a lot about men and their own value, their self worth. What about you? Your penis is precious.
Hmm.
Your body is precious too. Your energy and your time is precious too. So I feel like everybody really undermines their power, um, and the power of that sacred act by doing that. So I'm not gonna say no judgment. I think it's very
Hmm.
cliche because I'm judging.
Hmm.
I'm judging like I'm a. Um, but I will say that I think that if people knew how powerful and how potent sex is,
Hmm.
and the power of what they could do when they use their imagination
Mm.
coupled with sexual energy, if they really knew the potency of what it could create, they wouldn't be so free with it.
I just started realizing that
Mm,
um, I was getting to the point where I was like abusing my penis,
mm,
and
mm, mm,
I was abusing my penis,
mm,
man. And I told myself, I just needed to stay away from sex
mhm.
because I felt like I was too easy, and
Make me wait for it, King. You know what I'm saying?
man, women, they're not going for that. It's like if you they feel like you're rejecting them,
Okay, you don't like me
right? Like why
enough.
wouldn't you want to have sex? Because they don't run across men like me that just say no, like no,
Uh,
or that don't even try.
hmm.
So when they come across me, it's like, is something wrong with me? Like, are you gay? I'm like, no, it's
Wow.
just I have I have a lot of women that approach me that want sex from me, especially now. Like
Just
now,
for sex.
I wouldn't say just for sex, but I think sex is just like the gateway to like try to enter, to be in my life.
Oh, sisters, tisk, tisk, tisk. That ain't the way.
It ain't the way. I was getting a lot of that for a good minute. It's still happening now. So like I got a little bit of control, but like
Do you think these women are aware that giving their bodies to you in this way is not going to get them what they ultimately want from you? Do you think they're aware of it, or they're just going on default?
um, I think some women just want sex, and I
Okay.
think that some women, when they do have sex with men, they feel like that's gonna open the door for other things to happen. But for
Mm.
us, it's like, okay, you gave us some pussy, and that's pretty much all we needed. So
Mm-hmm.
like once we had sex, like what else do we got to work for?
Mm-hmm. Have you ever had a casual sexual chance encounter with a woman, and then later you were like, I think I love her. Like I really, I
I
really
have, yeah,
actually want her
I
in
have,
my
yeah,
life.
yeah,
It happens.
yeah,
Like, okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. Because
Okay.
the sexual experience be just so intense. I'd be like,
Got to be something else there.
yeah, let me try to get to know this person. Let me stick around.
Huh.
But it's other women that I've been around for like a whole year and some change, and sex wasn't even an option for real. I never even tried to even have sex with them, but we were just being friends. And when it finally did happen, it was just like the icing on the cake. Like, damn,
Mm.
I love you.
Yeah.
I
That's
love you.
powerful. You didn't propose.
No, 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 no. Uh-uh.
Okay.
I mean, I still talk to the woman, so I'm like,
Okay. Maybe. So maybe.
hmm
That's nice.
yeah. So like,
Black love. I
black
like it.
love.
Black
I'm here
love.
for the love.
I'm here for the love. I
Hmm.
believe in love.
Hmm. I wouldn't try to say the sex topic to the end, but I mean, we here. We here.
There's lots to talk about.
It is. It is. Yeah, I wanted to, like right now. I want to stop having sex.
You
I
want to
don't.
be celibate.
I do, but it's so hard. I mean, I say it's a mental thing, but I be feeling like I be breaking women's hearts.
Oof.
It's like okay, I can't even. I don't know what type of energy I give off.
Mm.
It's like when I'm around women, and if I don't try them, it's like something off. Like what?
Mm.
So, but I love being around women. I love feminine
Mm-hmm.
energy. I love
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
touching women.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
love being on dates and dinner, and you know what I'm saying. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, I go to dinner, and then this. What else after that?
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to reframe that whole conversation in your mind.
Mm,
It's gonna have to be about establishing your value, your
mm-hmm,
values, and what you're creating for your future. Because the shit's gonna come fast.
mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, you're older every day,
Older every day.
right? So I'm just saying that to say that I think that that conversation that you're having inside of yourself where it's like, well, I just want to go cold turkey is a good one. But I think that there's a way that you can still enjoy the radiance of women, the beauty and the energy and all the things of you can even still have touch, you know? I think that it'll be a beautiful way to challenge yourself and to elevate yourself energetically. It'll elevate your power for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It'll elevate your magnetism for you to say, let me see how I can just like surrender to the energy of women without giving them my body because I know in the end somebody gonna get hurt and it ain't gonna be me.
How does that even look like? Me surrendering to a woman and
Hmm.
without sex.
Well, I think that you got to lean into the women around you that you know value you for more than just your body. You know, for starters, you know, leaning into those women. They don't all have to be women with, you know, beautiful women with fat asses. This could be your aunties, it could be your elders, this could be women just in your sphere, you know, your mama's homegirls that always give you good advice. You know, women's energy and radiance. It could be young girls that you mentor, even, you know, it could be that women's radiance can be enjoyed beyond just having sex, you know, even if it's a beautiful masseuse lady that she's married, you respect her, she respects you, but she gives a phenomenal massage, any of those kinds of things. I think there's a way to do it.
Hmm.
But just saying, I can enjoy feminine energy, this does not mean that they get my penis because it might not be worth my time and energy. And if anything, it may be absorbing some of your magnetism, some of your power, some of the energy that you could use in other ways to
Mm-hmm.
elevate yourself.
I feel so much powerful when I don't have sex. When I'm not ejaculating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a topic. Have you ever tried to reverse your ejaculation, to hold your ejaculation, to
Mm-hmm.
ejaculate?
I've done
How,
that.
how's that working out for you?
Let me complain.
They want it.
They feel like they didn't satisfy me if I didn't
Mm-hmm.
ejaculate.
I can relate to that. I understand it, but it's only because they don't really understand the science of it.
Hmm. Have you ever tried tantric sex?
Mm-hmm.
How,
Yeah.
how was that?
You know, it's long, long and beautiful, beautiful, enlightening. Um, Tantric sex is, for me, it was like having an extended meditation that including that included me going to many, many different depths of my mind, my soul, my body, and really surrendering to the tantric master, which for me was a very masculine person, probably one of the most masculine figures that I had ever been intimate with. And so I was out of control. You know, I wasn't able to be in control, which for me was my normal. And which was a part of why I decided to do it in the first place, was to learn more of how to lean into my feminine surrender in the intimate space. And I really learned to accomplish that and to just kind of give in as opposed to trying to get somewhere in the
Hmm.
sex act, you know, as opposed to trying to, you know, just orgasm or to achieve something or to have power over something or, you know, I just kind of gave in and I fell asleep. In fact, I actually fell asleep and woke back up and it was still going, you know,
Wait, can you
later.
explain this?
I,
Explain like the experience. Like what happened? How did it start? How did it end? Like.
oh wow. Wow. Yeah, what started with meditation, uh, which eventually turned into transcendental meditation. And transcendental meditation requires certain posture, certain breathing techniques, and you're slowing down your heart rate to the
Is
point
this
to
naked?
where, yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. And there was massage, and there was, he was teaching me many things, and there was massage involved and all these things. And eventually I was so in such a meditation state that although we locked into intimacy, there there was no rush for him to make me orgasm or for me to make him orgasm. It just turned into it just really felt like a flow of energy where we were sensing the energy, sensing each other on another level. And it requires, well, as opposed to ejaculation, the goal was for us to absorb each other's energy and to rotate that energy to what they call the microcosmic orbit, where this energy is coming through the genitals, through the spine, all the way through the body, and then through your partner's body, creating like a figure eight. And eventually you become like one body.
How are y'all doing it?
Phenomenal.
Are you holding each other and
Yeah.
caressing each other? Is it kissing involved? Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's important, that there's mouth chakras, the feet chakras, keeping everything touching was really important to lock in the energy and to keep a certain circulation of breath. And you can go so deep into meditation that, if anybody knows anything about me, I'm a Pisces and we like to sleep. And I passed out. I passed out.
Passed out while touching, connecting, hugging.
This was an 8-hour session.
8 hours.
Yes. So every moment wasn't, yeah, I mean, it was, the sun was up, then it was down, this was not, every moment wasn't touching and caressing,
Okay, what do you do in the moments? I'm so confused. 8 hours?
Yes.
Like you just take a break and like you on your side and I'm on
Well,
my.
I don't know how long I was asleep. I don't know how long I was asleep, but I felt like I had a break, and I really felt like I had just transcended almost out of my body in a way. Because it didn't feel like 8 hours, but it was.
Did you orgasm?
No.
Did he?
No. Not in the traditional way. He did not.
What way did he?
An ejaculation.
What is
So
that?
not an outward ejaculation. So he was able to use the energy.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, he was able to use the energy and circulate the energy as opposed to letting it flow outward.
Was this a man you was dating?
Kind of.
Wouldn't this be like a man
No comment.
where no comment. Wouldn't this be like a man that you would find perfect? Like, wouldn't this be like a perfect man for you? Hold on.
No.
Before you answer that, let me. This light just went out.
I see.
Wait a minute. I am interested. Okay. Yeah. So. Okay. So. Yeah. Like, why wouldn't this be like like a man that you?
Well, listen, just because somebody has an expanded consciousness, doesn't mean that they know how to do budgets. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that they know how to show up. Doesn't mean they want children. Doesn't mean they want marriage.
Okay,
Doesn't mean, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that did not align. Yeah.
But the tantric sex did.
Well, that's what he did.
Well, how many times did y'all have this?
Twice, and this was a goal of mine. I really wanted to learn how to move past the pornographic concept of sex that I grew up on. I really wanted to learn and understand how to master the energy. I was reading all these books. I was studying qigong. I was just studying everything that I could, studying Taoism, really trying to learn and understand my own sexual energy, how to master it, and how to utilize that in a sexual space. And I was willing to do that with this person, whether or not he was qualified to be a partner. I was willing to learn.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Yeah. I think one day I need to try this. Were you out the country? This is America?
It was in America.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I met this lady that introduced me to this. I mean, we didn't do it, but she was telling me about her experience with tantric sex, and her and her partner, they didn't have penetration. It was only that, and they did that until they got married.
Oh wow,
Yeah, I was like, that's
it's powerful.
it is because if a man, I don't know any man that's gonna wait, but I
Until
mean,
marriage,
not marriage, but marriage too. But
in general.
yeah,
What's too long to wait?
what's too long to wait? Oh my God, I don't think there's a time frame.
Okay.
I'm all about. I just need to experience a person. I don't want to like. I don't want to get all the way down the aisle and get to the honeymoon and we have sex and it's not what I expected. Now, what do we do from here?
Well, I think as grown people, there are many ways, and I'm not saying that I'm for or against, but I think that there are many ways to tell whether or not you and a person have that kind of chemistry outside of you doing it.
Yeah, you can have that
More
chemistry.
so for her than for you guys. I will say that.
Okay,
More so for her,
but still,
but still.
but still,
But still.
you can have this connection with a person. Everything could be great, but if the sex doesn't line up, things change.
So what if you do a lot of play, a lot of different types of play, right? Without intercourse. Wouldn't you say that you can kind of get a vibe for how a girl is in that space? I mean, just by kissing and playing, sexually, I think you can really get a good read on
Yes.
how a woman would be in bed.
Okay. Yes.
I truly believe that.
Okay. Let's say once I penetrated and it just wasn't as
I
lubricant.
didn't fit. But that could change every day.
What about if
It
you
could literally change every day.
let's yes it can. Okay, opposite. The man's penis wasn't what you expected.
Oh yeah, it's tragedy.
Tragedy.
Tragic.
Now at what point what you do?
Tragic.
What do you do?
Travesty.
What do you do?
Nothing.
No,
Run.
you're married now. You got a ring on
Run.
your finger, you just spent 30, 40, 50,000 on this wedding.
Ooh. Well, hey, listen. There's two things going on here, right? There's the way that it should have been and should be, could have been, should have been, would have been, and then there's the way that it is, and it naturally, if a woman's a virgin, then maybe this would be neither here nor there. But as we know, that's just not the case for the most part these days. Your woman likely won't be a virgin once you meet her. So for those reasons, she may want to test, the waters. And I get that men would like to as well. I totally get it.
Are you single?
No,
You're not?
no, I'm in a relationship with Source. I'm in a phenomenal relationship with myself and my creator.
Is that how you want to leave this earth?
No. I am single.
I was about to say, I was like, damn, last time we talked, you were single.
I am single.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Deep sigh.
Deep sigh. Deep sigh. There are many, many reasons why I'm single. I was single in Atlanta for years, like a decade. And I was really pissed about it. And I was becoming almost like like just kind of bitter about it. And as the years were going by, I didn't realize like I should probably get out of Atlanta, but I had so many things going on here. I was building my career here. I got my bachelor's in naturopathic science here. I was, a part of a growing, budding community here. And so it was really tough to just choose a different city or a different place to live. But it wasn't a good idea. Being a single woman, if you believe in love, you believe in marriage, it wasn't a good idea for me to be here, particularly because of the type of man that I was looking for. And I just, I just didn't find the quality of men that I wanted to mate with here. I just didn't find that. Just didn't happen. Atlanta was a really rough experience for me. Atlanta was the first place that I ever felt like I needed to get a bag to have a man.
Damn.
Very, very strange experience for me here.
Why? What does a bag have to do with you getting a man?
Yeah, I was having some really interesting experiences here. I was meeting men who they wanted to go Dutch. They wanted for me
Dutch?
to yeah. They I remember a brother I would see this guy all the time. Beautiful brother. I was really kind of low-key crushing on him. And we finally go out on a date and we kind of start hanging out. And I remember him kind of ghosting me a little bit. And I was like, what is going on? And we spoke, and he was like, yeah, you're just not very stable, financially. And I was like, I was a waitress, I was 25. Yeah. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Am I supposed to be financially stable? You know what I mean? And I had a roommate, typical, was,
25, yeah.
I thought that was typical. I may have been 26.
Well, how much money
Um,
how much he was making?
Don't even get me started. Okay, don't even get me. But what I learned was that the brother was, he was living with a woman. He was driving another woman's car. This was just the thing.
Oh, he needed something. He wanted something out of you. Okay, I got all these other women. I can't be taking care of
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Okay.
because of his position. And this was just the first of many of those situations where, I would meet a brother. I was like, oh, he's gorgeous, nice guy. And, we're going to date. And next thing you know, he's like, he wants to move in my house. He's like, he wants to drive my car. It's like, oh man, the hell is going on? I'm from Dallas, Texas, Oklahoma City. My father was a provider my
Mm-hmm.
whole life, worked at 5 a.m. every day, came back at 3 o'clock. And he did that. He does that to this day. So I did not have that mentality that I needed to, become this, financially stable woman to have a man. It bothered me so deeply. It bothered me so deeply, and it really fueled me. It really fueled me, and I was just like, nobody's ever going to be able to make me feel like that again. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm just going to keep my head down and be really focused on my career because this is not it.
Hmm. You never found anyone in Atlanta that you were interested in, and it worked out, and you know had a relationship, and
No. No. Um, no. No.
you mentioned to me months ago that the topic was uh, dating a woke woman. Like, is it hard to date a woke? It was something like that. So,
Mm.
is it because of who you are, what you believe in?
I think that's it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Atlanta is filled with a lot of people who are, single, playing, building their careers, having a good time. It's not a lot of families here, not in the city of Atlanta anyway, which is where I lived downtown Atlanta for 7 years. Um, and there's certainly a culture here of people that are cultural and that are kind of reaching back to learn more of their ancestral ways and learning more about traditional spiritual systems. There's pockets,
Hmm.
but for the most part, that's not the case here. And it is a thing, to meet a woman that is self-actualized, who is, has a broader spiritual consciousness or is woke, and has a certain level of just awareness about the world, can make for it can make it very complicated to mate, for sure, especially if she has a different kind of diet,
Hmm.
if she doesn't have a traditional spiritual background. It's like whatever your pull is as a black woman. If you are exclusively dating black men, and I would only date a black man personally, I'm not interested in other races of men as partners, then it can make it difficult because naturally I want a man who's plant based. I would prefer a man who was, had a more broad awareness of his spiritual consciousness. who's cultural. I like a man who's black first, you know, cultural consciousness, political consciousness, you know, or global consciousness. So it's what I prefer is very rare. And I didn't tell the whole truth earlier. I have met someone that I thought was really, really, really special that I did meet here that I felt like you know, could certainly be my husband. But it was hard. It was rough.
What was rough
It was
about it?
difficult. It got really difficult.
Because your pool of men right now, like, it's already, the pool is already slim. You know, it's already slim right now. And it's like, now that you take it out, you know what I'm saying? I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this. You might have two people left down there. You know what I mean? So
It's rough. Well, what happens is a lot of young brothers approach me.
I was gonna ask, like,
A lot of very young brothers approach me. And I think the older men are already like, I know I can't handle this woman, so let me just not even.
what?
I'm just not even gonna try. The older brothers don't even try me. They just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just that the younger men just assume I'm their age, or, but they're very confident, surprisingly confident,
Surprisingly confident.
shockingly confident. And I'm
Uh,
like, boy, geez.
do you,
I had a 20-year-old approach me in a gym. I was like, could be my child.
but you, thing is, you look as if you could be their age.
Listen. It's a no. I need 35 and up is what I prefer.
About 33 and up.
That would, if he was extremely mature.
I'm so mature.
You're 33.
I'll be 34 in a few months.
Okay. Well, but I've dated someone even younger than that who was phenomenal, and
A
I
younger
was
guy.
extremely impressed.
A younger guy.
Yeah, he was even younger than you.
Wow.
And he was phenomenal. You know what I mean? Everybody has their thing, but he was very mature. I was really, really impressed with him. Very mature, beautiful brother. I still love him very, very much. Come home.
Come home. Come home.
Phone home. No, but you know, it's rough. It's rough in these streets. It's already, we have so much as a people working against us, and then just learning and unlearning how to be together. You know, I saw this phenomenal post the other day. A sister was saying how we weren't raised on how to be together. We just weren't raised to know how to be together consistently, you know, and how to stay together when things are hard, or when we fall out of love and back into love and out of love. You know, it's a devotion and a commitment to really, really fully be with somebody, and to allow yourself to be, you know, fully vulnerable with them, and to go through the ups and downs. And it's hard. It's hard.
We're quick to just give up. And
So easy to give up.
I don't know what it is.
Well, everybody's replaceable now.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, it's too many options, especially for men.
It's too many
It's
options.
too many options. It's already a scary thing getting into a relationship. And we just need one reason. Just give me a reason. Oh, well, this ain't it. Bet. All right, let me get back to the streets. Let me go talk to these other women. And we ain't fighting it through. We ain't sticking it out.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had that experience. You know, my relationships, the brothers were fully devoted to sticking it out. Always. You know, it was definitely me. And I hear that often. You know, people say, well, the women are the ones asking for a divorce. It's not the men. It's the women. The women are leaving.
So you did all the breaking up.
Yeah.
You just told me you just met this young brother. He was perfect back down there. You still love him to this day. Come home.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm learning a lot about myself this year. You know, this has been a really interesting year for me. And I've been reading my horoscope since I was like in the third grade. 2023. It's 2022 and 23.
We 5 months in.
I mean, this shit is no joke. But I've been reading my horoscope since I was a child. And I read mine a couple weeks ago for 2023. And it was like, this ain't your year. It's like it was
Damn.
just like this year is about internalizing and integrating all the crazy shit that's been going on. So this isn't the year for all of like the celebration. This isn't the year for all of the, jubilance. This is the year for really centering and integrating lessons.
Mhm.
And my last relationship, I was telling him recently, I said, this was like a big cup of ayahuasca. It's just like a big cup of medicine where I'm having to really reassess who I want to be in a relationship with someone and what I really value and what I'm willing to compromise, what I'm willing to let go of, and just what's most important, in the long run.
So basically, just give up for the year. Focus on self. Don't even think about a man.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. The last time I was asked what I want, my response is I just want to be very well for my husband. I want to be well. I want to make sure that I'm not bringing any outdated ideas or false concepts about what he is supposed to be or I'm supposed to be within the relationship. I believe in marriage. My goal is marriage. If I date, I'm dating for marriage. I'm not interested in casual sex. I'm not interested in any of that. I have a son, so and I'm very grateful I did because I was I was 35 when I had him, and I was like, damn, I better hurry up and have some children because I'm not meeting anybody that I would ever want to marry or have children with.
Mm-hmm.
So let me get to work. At least I'll have a child, and this is the type of thing that that's why this is a huge discussion right now.
Let's speak about that
Amongst professional women.
because I'm in a situation where the time I am in my life now, I want a child, and it's not necessarily a woman that I'm going to marry, but I want a child. And so, did you go into that situation like, okay, let's have a child together, and and
Gotta take a breath.
and like let's just have a child together, and this might not, like what was the conversation like? What's that? What you were doing?
Not for me.
Oh, it was just a relationship, and I had a child, and
I'll tell you. Women don't beat me up for this, but I think that it's possible for a woman to have a biological experience where she almost literally loses her damn mind, where all reason escapes her and her biological clock just says, you baby, let's go,
mm-hmm.
right? And I think that it's easy to find the traits that matter the most for you and just land there, and the rest you just make up. The rest you can just make up. And it's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. I was really blessed in my case in that I I I I wanted a child. I knew it like to the depths of me that I wanted a child. But I also really wanted to bond intimately with a man that also wanted marriage, who wanted a child, who wanted legacy, who wanted to build legacy. And and my child's father, Julius, is phenomenal. He's one of my best friends. We're very, very close. There's nothing that, I won't do for him, just, making sure he's good, he's straight, and vice versa. And we co parent phenomenally for our son. My son will never hear me badmouth him, and vice versa. We're very, very focused on making sure that he feels that we are in sync. So I was really fortunate, and I had made plans to marry because it was one of the hardest things, honestly, in my life to make the choice to separate from his father because I really wanted to continue having children with the father of my first child, naturally. It was really, really rough for me. But in my heart, I didn't feel that we were aligned for marriage. And, I was looking for something different.